This is a chick magnet like you can't believe it. You put this thing on, and the average member of the opposite sex, if that's your preference, will rush up to you and want to touch the fabric because it is silky and luxurious and it breathes. This is not Tyvek. I can wear this on any job site all day long. The only place I don't recommend the suit, as I refer to it as, is underneath a crawl space because it doesn't give me protection from rocks and broken glass and things like that. But in a finished area, this is the best coverall I have ever used. Now, to jump briefly into technology. Technology is a new dawn. Now, you're out there dealing with clients right now, and if you're, let's say, over the age of 30, you're out of touch. Because the up-and-coming PMPs and the young clients that we have are totally wrapped up in the use of technology. And I see things coming and things I've had my hands on that are so many, oh, it's an app for the phone when the instrument gets a reading. It is nothing short of incredible. And all the pests listed up there, flies, bed bugs, rat roaches, carpet beetles, mice, rodents, fleas, and termites, all have technology coming right around the corner that's going to improve what we do. I mean, imagine for a moment the fly machine catches something in the restaurant. And it calls your phone and tells you what the fly is, all the way down to the species of the fly. And by the way, it's a picture on your phone at the same time. I've seen the machines, and I've seen them in use. We have so much cool stuff coming. But think about something else with regards to this photograph. Now, that's a sunrise, and I take sunrise pictures every morning in Palatka, Florida, where I live. That's a very calming sunrise, isn't it? It kind of gives you a good feeling. Why do people buy from our industry? Why do they bother to spend money with pest control? Because they want peace of mind. That's the only reason anybody buys from us. Because they have a fear of loss, and the fear could be health, the fear could be property that they would lose, but the reality is they want peace of mind. They hire this industry because we give them peace of mind. They want this photograph in their brain every morning. I don't have to worry. I've got a lady or gentleman that I've employed that's got this. We have to be the got this people. And in our industry, the best representation of us is the lady or gentleman driving around every day in those route trucks. If they fail, we are in serious trouble. And the best pest control companies I work with across the board are the ones that understand the only way it works is when those route technicians have everything they need from equipment to knowledge to be successful. That's it. We've got to take care of the techs. And every time I do a training class, because I do a number of these in Florida every year for recertification, it's right here in my brain all the time. Take care of the technicians, because without the techs, we have no industry. We're doomed, and we're not going to go any farther. Mattress safe. I put this up because this suit, the very first time I draped my body in this magnificent fabric was at this meeting, and it's got to be maybe 10 years ago now, because we were still over at the Armory, the place where they ran track and field, and Will Poston is the owner of Mattress Safe. And you guys, he was up front here and waved his hands and talked to you all. He's probably at his booth right now, and he has these to give away. Go out there and meet somebody that actually made a massive difference in this industry that's still alive today, that brought us this product. Because Will came up to me at that meeting 10 years ago, and he said, Jack, I have this suit. Tell me what you think. And I remember putting it on in the Armory. It was like 6 in the morning, 6:15 in the morning, and I put this thing on, and I laughed. And I was used to Tyvek. And I put this on, and I said, you know what? If it's worth a damn and it's comfortable, I'll wear it all day. I wore it all day. And to this day, when I work in commercial kitchens or a lot of nasty places, I throw one of these on. And I have some of these that have been washed over 200 times. And they're fine. They don't break down. They stay together, and they keep crap off of me. And that's why they're so valuable. And think beyond just that, because all of these come with like a pillowcase or something to store it in your truck. So many times when I've gone into public housing situations with bed bugs where they're complaining, they're in our offices, when people come in, they're going home with my purse or whatever, I say, take the little bag for mattress safe and put your purse in there when you come to work. You won't bring them home that way, at least not in your purse. When you go on vacation, where does your luggage spend its vacation? In the room. Well, all your clients out there in the field, you can get the luggage safes for them for pennies, and your clients will stand less of a chance of bringing home hitchhikers. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, and this man is right here today for you to talk to. And this is a short video, hopefully it'll play, but Will keeps investing in his American company in Cumming, Georgia. And they just put this equipment in. This will run just for a few moments. This is a new cutting machine that they put in. This costs a lot of money. And we'll invest in this to keep things in the United States. And he's working every day to put more and more products in the United States. And I just think that is too cool that we have somebody representing our country that well with a product that we all use. And there are pest control companies out there that I work with. They uniform their employees this way in rough situations, as I talked about. And they also have to sleep on these products every night. And the only downside to the white suit that I wear, you cannot wear it commando in public. Don't do that. If you're going to be wearing the suit commando, talk to Will and get him in camo or black or dark green. Don't get the white. Just saying. If you get backlit in the white suit and you're wearing it commando, you're probably going to be arrested. Here's a reality about pest control, because I teach classes to simplify things for people so they're easier to understand. We cannot prevent introduction. We can't do that. We can hold it off. We can play games. Oh, we rodent-proof the building. I shoved something under the door. All that does is buy us time. Mother Nature always wins. You're not going to stop introductions, but what you can do is be pretty dang on proactive about infestations. Think about pest control in that fashion. What am I doing so when introduction occurs, I got it? Because if you're not thinking that way, you're going to fail. I get called into situations where people say, I've had 10 pest control companies and still have roaches. Because they don't think this way. You have to think about, what can I do to be proactive, because they're coming. It's going to happen. Pest pressure is everywhere. This is PPE. Pest pressure is everywhere. Period. It never goes away. It may subside a little bit depending upon the season, but we work within structures for the most part. And pest pressure is this all the time. And it's not just the mouse or the rodent that runs in. It's also the delivery that takes place on a regular basis from the food service company that I see happening all the time where I live down south, and people wonder where the critters are coming from. You have to figure out what's really going on. And they also penetrate everything. It doesn't matter. All it does is take them a little more time. We patch, we seal, we do all these things that we have to do. We've got to do this to be proactive. They will punch their way through. You're not going to stop this. The only way you stop this is being proactive, so when the breakdowns occur, it's less of an issue. This is also the reason that every one of us in here have a job. Because if we could really go in and flip a magic switch or do something and prevent pests, why would they ever need to see us again? Because the pressure keeps coming. And we have to be there to mitigate the issues before the situation takes place. This is a secured site. And I threw this picture up there because we got hit with this recently. Which one of these products is the most lethal to rodents? The one they chewed into the least amount is the Lysol. They were looking for moisture. They were looking for water. Obviously, the Lime Away didn't hurt them as bad because they attacked the Lime Away. And Bacazap, of course, it's from Nisus, Obviously, it's not nearly as toxic to them. It wasn't designed for rodents anyway. But the fact of the matter is, this was a secured site. I don't know how they were getting in. This is an issue. Now let's take a look at the rodent control processes. I almost have no words for this. Why do I find this in the field? I mean, they hired a new pest control company, is what I was told. That's their bait station right there. That's the company that just set the program up. This is the last couple of companies, and that's somebody's. I mean, really? I walk around the outside of the building, and then I look at this and I go, are you out of your mind? Why did you put the bait station there? Well, because there's a hole. I mean, you know, I can't make this stuff up. But I bring this up because I see this all the time. This is the reason there are so many pest control companies. Because somebody's out there screwing this up on a regular basis. And you know what? They don't always do it as a screw up. Sometimes they do it because they're following a specification. I've got, for the length of this presentation, obviously I don't have a ton of slides on it, but I do have one where I want you to imagine you're a technician and you're going out servicing a facility, and the specifications, because it's a national account, the national account specifications say you will have 10 bait stations outside of this restaurant. Well, this one particular restaurant had 2 walls that were inside of the hotel. So they only had 2 exterior walls. But the technician was afraid of running into a problem with his service. So I went out there and did the audit, and he had 10 bait stations that were set up in 5 stacks of 2. And every single one of them was serviced. They were clean, they had fresh bait, but they were one stack on top of the other. I mean, think about what we're doing. Bobby talked about the precision placement of rodent control equipment. Obviously, somebody's following a spec, but you have to look at this and think about what's really happening out there. Now, I found out about this product, Rodent Exit, when I talked to Andy in preparation for this meeting, so I pitched this in because I think we may have a neat product here, but what attracted me to it was the product was also relatively low cost. And this is important because I know PMPs have to look at the bottom line. But there's a reality about bottom lines. You have to make a profit. Every one of you guys in the field has got to make a profit, and there's nothing wrong with that. Because if you can't make a profit in your business and you can't make it grow, you're going to fail your clients, you're going to fail your employees, and you're going to fail yourself. You can't do that. You have to make a profit in this industry in order to be successful. And this product is very interesting to me. I'm real excited to bring this down to the Florida market and show it to some of the folks down there because I think it may help us. That account that I just showed you, oh yeah, they could have used this really. Now, this is a little video that the owner of Rodent Exit did. Hopefully it'll play. Let's see. Well, it didn't come up. Oh. Sometimes it goes back and forth. At any rate, what we have here is a young lady, sometimes I can tap on the screen, nope, is a young lady that's doing an installation of this product. And what we're doing is this door frame right here. And from start to finish, go on Andy's website and take a look at this Rodent Exit video because she does the entire installation. And I believe she is the owner of the company's daughter, who's like 13, 14 years old. She does the entire installation properly with tools and screws and measures everything and does it in under 3 minutes. Now, that's your phone. Is that too much time to take to do something right? I don't think so. Now, once you've gotten a place where you're secured, you're probably going to be trapping rodents in some manner or fashion. Now, I know there are other products out there. I went over to Wildlife Control Supply, and they also have rodent-attracted products. Oh, cool, I can use my hand instead of the pointer. Whoa. That's kind of cool. But at any rate, What you need to do with any of these products is test them out at the sites where you're working. Don't just take a product because somebody say it works and put it on your traps, because it's liable to fail. Bobby talked about how some of these animals are predisposed to certain types of flavors and tastes. I'm very, very familiar with the JF Oaks ProPest product. Very. Jim Oaks is a dear friend of ours. We spend a lot of time with them. We do some work with them. They also make it, which is really good in the South. It has bacon in it, and you know how we love bacon in the South. But the product is good. Provoke is another one. In some other parts of the country, the guys like that. You've got the wildlife control products. They have their own formulations. In fact, 2 of them. But what I encourage you to do is trial things at your accounts. Make sure the rodents are going to hit the product. Does it do you any good to put out 50 or 60 snap traps with product on it that they won't touch? All you want them to do is to stop and go, what's that I smell? And get into the trap. So you need to assess based on the site, and you have to do that yourself. Don't depend on the manufacturer. Pick up the products and use them. Another example of this same idea, we do a tremendous amount of work in Florida with pest ants. And we have massive populations. We'll do a treatment on the outside of the building with really lethal products, and we'll have 6 inches of dead bodies on the ground, and the ants are still coming. And what I encourage people to do when they're going to use bait products is trial your products and build a buffet. And we'll go ahead and do an ant buffet during the initial assessment of the site. Then we'll come back the next day and find out exactly what they're feeding on, and guess what we give them. Now, why don't we take the time to do that? We take the bait that we're given or the bait that we're assigned and we put that out, and we are told it doesn't work. They didn't feed on it. You have to give them what they want to feed on. If you don't do that, you're going to fail. And gosh, roaches work the same way. So think in those terms. If you're using a product that something has to feed on, trial it first. You have time to do that, because generally when you go in to take over an account, I mean, how many people here have really honestly ever gotten a virgin account? Nobody else has ever done it. It's the very first creature. You get your business because other people fail. And you can't fail. Take the time to find out what's really going on before you leap into it. Now, I talked to the folks from Bell because I'm just starting to look at this technology that tells us, hello, excuse me, pest control operator, bait station number 12 just had a visitor. And this technology is to the point now where we can do pictures in some cases. And this will create records, it'll create trend reports, it'll create tracking, and you'll see the distribution of the pest, otherwise known as the pattern. I talk about patterns a lot because we don't do this. We don't pattern anything. Bobby explained that this morning when he was talking. We put out bait stations in the middle of the trash pile and wonder why it doesn't work. You have to know the pattern, and you have to know the distribution of the pest. Bed bugs are that way. You have to know the pattern. But this technology is really pretty cool, and what I suggest you do is go talk to the Bell representative and find out what he has. The other thing you have to be concerned with any technological advancement is how committed is that vendor that I'm going to this technology. Are they just playing with this, seeing how many customers they can get, or are they actually devoted to the technology? For example, I use an iPhone. We hope that Apple is devoted to technology because they keep giving us advancements. This is what we want when it comes to this type of thing. We want continued advancements and people committed to the growth long term for the technology we're using. Otherwise, it's just a wild, crazy idea, and it sounded really cool, but technology advances way too fast. When we first started into electronic technology for records, you could have receipts and such on your iPhone. A lot of the large pest control firms had trouble with this because they understood that. They knew if they committed to buy, say, 5,000 handheld units, where are those units going to be technologically in 15 months, 12 months, 11 months, 6 months? You have to think ahead with technology. Talk to these people, talk to the other folks that offer this technology, and assure yourself that they're going to carry it forward into the future. I bring up this product here. It is controversial. There's another company here with a product called Propel. I've not had a lot of experience with it, but this technology is scent technology for animal redistribution. And don't think in terms of repellent. Don't do that. This product changes patterns. Now, I became familiar with this product back in 2013, totally by accident. I was at a landscape show in Orlando. I was actually there doing some work for Epic, and Epic is represented here. Pat Ryan has that stuff in his booth. And I was walking the floor during the show, and I saw a booth for Nature's Defense, a little small 10-footer, and I happened to run into the owner. The owner of the company is Mark Weiser. And I said, chuckled at him, and I said, you know, if somebody ever came up with a rodent product that worked, I'd love to see it. And he looked at me and said, what would you do with that?